Every great war begins with a loss. And in Secret Wars, loss is not just expected, it is guaranteed. This isn't another Avengers mission. It isn't just a fight to save Earth. This is the collision of entire realities. Universes folding in on themselves. Heroes forced to fight not just villains, but each other. And when the dust settles, not everyone will rise again. The MCU has spent over a decade building legends. But legends are only immortal in stories. On screen, they can bleed. They can break. They can fall. And to make the stakes of Secret Wars truly matter, some must die. So who will be the first sacrifices? Who are the heroes destined to fall in Marvel's Ultimate War? The answer begins with the most obvious and the most painful. Doctor Strange. Strange has already meddled with the multiverse. He's tampered with forces no mortal should touch. In Multiverse of Madness, we saw the cost of his choices. His every spell unravels reality further. He is both a savior and a danger. And in Secret Wars, he may have to pay the ultimate price. Imagine Strange holding back collapsing realities, using every ounce of his magic to shield the others. His body burning away as universes tear into each other. His last words not of regret, but of hope. A sorcerer who dies not as a man, but as a wall against annihilation. Strange's death would not just hurt, it would shake the MCU to its core. But he will not be the only one. Look to the sky. Look to Thor. Thor has already faced loss beyond comprehension. His father, his mother, his brother, his people. He has been broken, remade, and broken again. But even gods have endings. And Thor's might may only carry him so far in a war where entire realities clash. Picture the god of thunder standing against impossible odds, lightning crackling one last time as he holds off a cosmic army. His sacrifice would not just be about power, it would be about love. Love for Earth, love for his friends, love for the universe he has sworn to protect. For Thor, death would not be defeat. It would be destiny fulfilled. And then, there is Spider-Man, the MCU's heart. Its soul. Its everyman. We've already seen Peter Parker lose more than most heroes could bear. His mentor. His aunt. His very identity. In No Way Home, he was left utterly alone. But Secret Wars may demand even more. Spider-Man's death would shatter audiences. Imagine him in the middle of Battle World, fighting alongside the greatest heroes of every universe. Imagine him falling, not in despair, but in triumph, saving others at the cost of himself. His final breath a reminder of what it truly means to be a hero. Would Marvel dare kill Spider-Man? Maybe. Because his sacrifice would cement Secret Wars as the MCU's most devastating chapter. But it won't stop there. Because Secret Wars isn't just about killing characters, it's about passing torches. About making room for the next generation. Heroes like Ant-Man or Wasp could meet their end, paving the way for Cassie Lang. Characters like Hawkeye could fall, leaving Kate Bishop to rise. Even Captain Marvel, one of the strongest Avengers, could sacrifice herself to stop an incursion, proving her worth not just in strength, but in selflessness. Each death would echo through the MCU, not as an ending, but as a beginning. The first sacrifices will be the most shocking. They will break hearts. They will leave fans in disbelief. But Secret Wars cannot pull its punches. To make this story matter, to make it truly legendary, Marvel must be willing to do what it has always feared most. Let its heroes die. And when the first fall, the war only grows darker. Because if the strongest among them cannot survive, what hope remains for the rest? The first sacrifices hurt. But the next? They break everything. Secret Wars isn't just another crossover. It's the final collision of the MCU's first great saga. And to prove that this war matters, Marvel won't just kill side characters. They'll strike at the very heart of the Avengers. Heroes whose deaths will ripple across the multiverse itself. The first name on that list is one that fans both dread and expect. Captain America. Yes, Steve Rogers passed the mantle. Yes, he got his bittersweet ending in Endgame. But the multiverse is a strange place. Variants exist. And Secret Wars is the perfect excuse to bring one last version of Cap back into the fight. Imagine Steve, shield in hand, stepping onto Battle World. A man out of time, once more facing impossible odds. And in the heat of battle, he makes the ultimate sacrifice. Shield raised, body broken, standing to the very last breath. This time, there's no going home. This time, Captain America's final words are carved into legend. And with his fall, the Avengers lose their heart. But what about Iron Man? Tony Stark died, saving the universe in Endgame. His story was complete. But in Secret Wars, the multiverse offers endless possibilities. Imagine a variant of Iron Man, smarter, colder, more ruthless, fighting alongside the heroes. Maybe even one who wears the armor of the superior Iron Man. And imagine him falling. Not as a redemptive end, but as a chilling reminder that even the greatest minds cannot outsmart the collapse of reality. Tony Stark dying again would strike like lightning. A gut punch to fans, a warning that Secret Wars spares no one. Then comes the unthinkable. Black Panther. The mantle of Wakanda has already passed. The MCU has carried T'Challa's spirit with grace and honor. But in Secret Wars, Wakanda may pay the ultimate price. Picture Shuri, standing in the ruins of collapsing worlds, facing a threat no one else can stop. She knows the cost. She knows the risk. And yet, she charges forward, claws out, heart strong. Her sacrifice would be both a tragedy and a triumph. An end that proves Wakanda will always endure, even when its king and queen have fallen. This would not just devastate fans. It would redefine what it means to be Black Panther in the MCU. But the most heartbreaking death? Loki. He cheated death too many times. He transformed from villain to anti-hero to redeemer. And in Loki, we saw him guard the very threads of reality. But Secret Wars could demand his final act. Loki, the trickster, dying not in betrayal, but in sacrifice. Perhaps he holds the multiverse together long enough for others to escape. Perhaps he faces his darkest self and wins by losing. His final words? A whisper of mischief. A tearful smile. A goodbye that fans never saw coming. The god of lies, dying in the purest truth, love for others. Secret Wars will not hesitate to break our hearts. Because death, in this story, is not just an ending. It is a message that no one, not gods, not kings, not geniuses, can outrun destiny. When universes die, so do heroes. And their deaths will scar the multiverse forever. But the question lingers, if Captain America, Iron Man, Black Panther, and Loki can fall, who possibly survives to tell the tale? By the time Secret Wars reaches its final act, the battlefield is unrecognizable. Cities are dust. Worlds are ash. The sky itself is torn apart, stitched together by fragments of dying universes. And among the ruins stand only a handful of heroes. They are bruised, broken, outnumbered, but not defeated. Because even as legends fall, the story of Marvel is not about endings. It is about what survives beyond the fire. The question is no longer who dies. It's who remains to carry the torch. One name rises above the rest, Spider-Man. Yes, we imagined his possible death earlier. But more likely, Marvel spares him. Because Peter Parker is not just another hero. He is the soul of the MCU's next era. After the chaos of No Way Home, he has been stripped down to nothing. No friends, no family, no Avengers at his side. Secret Wars could rebuild him. A war that pushes him to his limits, leaving him scarred but alive, ready to lead a new generation of heroes. If the MCU needs a new center, Spider-Man is it. Then comes Doctor Strange. We saw how his meddling created disaster. But imagine him surviving when others fall. Strange has always been haunted by choices, by the roads not taken, by the costs of his decisions. Surviving Secret Wars would give him a burden unlike any other. The Sorcerer Supreme, alive not as a victor, but as a witness. A man cursed to remember every death, every sacrifice, every world that burned. Strange living on ensures the multiverse still has a guardian, but also guarantees the MCU has a character forever changed by grief. What about the new blood? Secret Wars is Marvel's chance to hand the MCU to the next generation. Heroes like Kate Bishop, Ms. Marvel, Ironheart, and Shang-Chi. They may stumble into the war as rookies, but they will leave as legends. Their survival is not just likely, it's necessary. Because Marvel needs heirs. And heirs are forged not in victory, but in survival. But the most important survivor may not be who fans expect. Deadpool. Yes, the merc with a mouth. the wild card of the multiverse. His very existence breaks the rules of reality. And in a story about collapsing worlds, who better to walk away from the wreckage than the man who can't die and knows he's in a movie? Deadpool surviving isn't just funny. It's essential. He may be the one who remembers everything, carrying knowledge from one universe to the rebooted MCU. Imagine him winking at the audience as the screen fades, the only one aware of what just happened. The only one who knows this is a new beginning. And then, the curtain falls. The survivors gather in the ruins of Battleworld. They bury their dead. They mourn their legends. And they look at the shattered sky, now glowing with the light of a new universe. Because Secret Wars isn't just an ending. It's a reset button. The MCU, reborn from destruction, free to tell new stories with familiar faces. Some heroes gone forever, others replaced, and some never quite the same again. The final goodbye is not a farewell. It is a promise that from sacrifice comes legacy. From endings, new beginnings. So who dies in Secret Wars? Many. But who lives? Enough. Enough to build what comes next. Enough to carry Marvel's universe into its next great age. And as fans, we will leave the theaters shattered, grieving, but hopeful. Because that is the true power of Secret Wars. Not just the deaths, not just the spectacle, but the chance to start over. The final goodbye is only the first page of Marvel's next story.